So friends, we talk about the rebellion of Korach. The Talmud describes it that he was the person who created machloket, divisiveness. Even though on the face of it, he was the one who argued for equality. Because you see, not always is the one arguing for equality really interested in equality. And sometimes bringing together things that need to have their own place, like in that case, the Kohens have their role, the Levites have theirs, the Israelites have theirs, trying to blur all the lines, is not the one creating peace, but actually divisiveness. You see, Judaism does not believe that unity equals uniformity. To the contrary. You know, if you live in a neighborhood and all the neighbors get along, that's good. It doesn't mean that all of them live in each other's homes. That won't work. Or think of a team, or an orchestra, or a symphony, or what have you. We all work together in harmony. But when suddenly everybody's doing everybody else's job, that's not going to work. It's going to fall flat. It's even true within the human body. We have hands and feet, we have a mind, we have a heart, we have eyes, we have ears, etc., etc., etc. Each one is playing their role to perfection, please God, and the human body's functioning. The minute one part of the body starts behaving like the other and vice versa, God forbid, that's terrible. That's illness or even death. Because God is the orchestra conductor, you see. God isn't afraid of differences. God doesn't need uniformity. In fact, the lack of uniformity, the fact that the world is so colorful, there's men, there's women, there's Jews, there's Gentiles, there's 70 nations, there's any number of vegetation and animals and hundreds of types of every single species. Chassidus explains that this brings out the glory of God, the beauty of God. He's got infinite possibilities. This doesn't require uniformity. We don't have to make them all the same to have unity. Actually, it's quite the contrary. Just like in the analogies that I gave of a community, of a symphony, and of a human body. We try to merge and blur the lines, and we have a mess. We have good fences, we have good neighbors. Every part of us is playing its role. It's not uniform, but it's united. Because we understand that there's a creator. We understand this symphony as a conductor, and therefore it's okay for everyone to play their own instrument. Moses, in fact, told us to Korach by telling him, wait till tomorrow. And Rashi explains, why till tomorrow? Wait till the morning, boker, to point out the same God who made the division between night and morning, and you cannot blur those lines. You can stand on your head, night will be night and morning will be morning. God created that. If he so loves unity and oneness and uniformity, he should have just made day or night. You can't blur the lines of God's built-in systems of division within the world. They're not in conflict with unity. Trying to blur them is. And this is why his punishment was that he and his entire ilk was swallowed up by the earth, you see. In this context, the message of it is that really it represented that when you blur the lines, it's one big mess. It's all swallowed up. It's all gobbled up by the earth. Life eats you up. You fail to recognize the purpose of every part of life. And that includes jealousy. I need yours, you need mine. Arrogance, lust, you see, because it's all one big chulant. We're all swallowed up in each other and into the earth. It's not meant the way it's supposed to be. Each of us has our role. Each of us has our lot. We help each other. And we do what we need to do as men versus women, as Jews versus Gentiles, as humans versus animals. And together, we're playing the music for God's symphony. The Hasidic masters say this is why when Moses introduced the punishment, which he hesitated to do and he tried to delay it, and he said, look, if life goes on for you guys and you die of old age, God didn't send me. But if God creates a new creation, I'm quoting, in Bria Yivra Hashem, if God will create a new creation, and that is that the earth will open itself up and swallow you up, it's a sign that I appointed Aaron, etc., by God's instruction. But why did he use that strange language? Moses made a lot of different miracles throughout that whole story in the Torah, throughout the books of the Torah. He pulled a lot of tricks out of his staff. But in no other occasion does he say, if God will create this new miracle, he didn't say by the frogs or by the lice, he just did it. Suddenly he's using the terminology, in Bria Yivra Hashem, if God will create this mouth of the earth, like what does it mean? In this context, it means, in Bria Yivra Hashem, if God in fact is the creator, if there's a plan, then you can't blur lines. Then you can't mix day and night. You can't mix the Kohen with the Levites, with the Israelites, with the Jew, with the other nations. Everybody has their mission. Your message, Korach, that you're missing is you forgot that Berea, there's a creator. But in fact, there is a creator. Your way is going to spell doom and swallow up into the earth. And in fact, that's what happened. And it created this powerful lesson. Don't be like Korach. Don't try to make everybody the same. Everybody's equal in the sense that we're all equally important in God's eyes. But we don't have the same rules. We don't need to make sure women are doing the same mitzvahs as men and vice versa. We don't have to make sure that the Gentiles account for the minyan at the shul or that the dog gets a bark mitzvah. That is blurring lines and that creates destruction. That does not create unity. It messes up the whole symphony. And it causes a competition. You see, I need to be like you. You need to be like me. I have to do all the things that you do and vice versa. That comes of Korach, the three letters. Kuf, kina, jealousy. Reish, Roman was arrogance. Ches, chenda, which is lust. And the words of the Pirkei Avot, ethics of our fathers, kina, type of our kovo, these three things. Jealousy, lust, and arrogance take a person out of the world. That's the language. Think about that. Jealousy, arrogance, and lust. There's a lot of bad qualities in life, and there's a lot of character traits that we struggle with. But if we allow those three to get the better of us, it takes us out of the world. It just makes us inhumane. We can't tolerate that somebody has something we don't have, or somebody accomplished something that we didn't, or somebody is different than us and has that edge that we don't. Stop. That's a Korach thing. That's a divisive thing, even though it comes in the guise of uniformity. And here's a great story. There was a great Hasidic master known as the Seer of Lublin. Lived in the time of the first Chabad Rabbi. Miracle worker, holy man, extraordinarily humble. He thought nothing of himself. He didn't realize how great he was. But he was extraordinarily great that people would flock to him from all over Europe. There were always lines of people out of his house waiting to see him. And he just lived his life humbly, like, what do they want from me? Across the way, there was a rabbi. Let's assume he knew some Torah, but he was full of himself. He was arrogant and everything else. And he was really bothered. Nobody came to line up at his house. No one was interested in hearing what he has to say. Certainly no one came for his blessings. They couldn't care less. Whereas across the street, the simple, humble Jew, who he didn't consider as equal scholar as him, even though certainly he was much greater, but he never showed it off. He said, why is he getting all the attention? Why are they flocking to him? So one day he decided that he's going to ask him. And he walks across the street and he gets the Chozeh, the seer of Lublin, in a private moment. He says, Rabbi, tell me something. You know, you and I know I'm a big Talmud Chacham. I'm a Torah scholar. I'm so important. I'm so pious. I'm so wonderful. You, right? And the seer of Lublin says, yeah, no, I agree. I'm nothing special. Trust me, I know that. So why are they all coming to you? Like, what do they want from you? Why are they coming? He says, you know, I have the same question. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. So the arrogant rabbi says, you know, I have a suggestion. When they come, tell them the truth. Tell them you're all mistaken. It's a case of mistaken identity. I'm really nothing special. Geg isn't the hate. Don't come. So he said, that's a good idea. I'm going to do that. And he started telling all the people, I don't know why you came. If you want my blessing and advice, I'll give it to you. But trust me, I don't have anything to tell you. I'm a very simple person. You got the wrong address. What was the result of that humility? People love humility. It's attractive, especially in a special person. And instead of having 1,000 people a week, he had 10,000 people a week. It was out of control. The whole city had to shut down when he was meeting people. The neighbor across the street was plotzing. And he catches him and he says, I don't understand. Why are they coming even more? You told me that you're going to tell them that you're really nothing special. He said, that's exactly what I did. But apparently it had the inverse effect. He says, Rabbi, we have to try a different tactic. That's the arrogant guy saying, from now on, I want you to tell them that you're really special. So then they'll figure you must be arrogant and they'll stop coming and the plan will work. Tell them that you're really, really wonderful and special. To this, the seer of Lublin says, I can't do that. I can't lie. You want me to tell him how ordinary I am? I can tell him because it's the truth. You want me to tell him how special I am? I can't do it because I don't lie. That's a humble tzaddik. So the arrogant rabbi was beside himself, and finally he just gave up. But he said to the seer, just tell me, why is it though? Why is it that they keep flocking to you and they don't come to me? And the seer of the Lublin looks him in the eye and he says, don't you get it? They don't come to you because you're wondering why they're not coming. They're coming to me because I'm wondering why they are coming. Shabbat Shalom.